Welcome to the 2023-2024 school year. I wanted to take a minute to introduce myself. I am Ms. Hardy, the MYP coordinator, and I'm hoping we're going to have a fantastic year this year. I wanted to go over a few things with you about the program, a couple of changes, a couple of reminders for our returning students. And so I'm going to go over this with you. I'm going to share it with parents and students. So the first thing is this is the International Baccalaureate program. It is a program that is meant to prepare students to be open-minded and world learners, global learners. And so to that end, we have what's called the IB Learner Profile. And these are the attributes of an IB learner. And if they are not already that type of learner, their goal is to become that type of learner. And basically, the IB learner profile is the IB mission statement translated into a set of learning outcomes. You can see more on this page right here about that. And I'm going to post a link to this as well. But basically, we are trying to be the best version of ourselves we can be. And in order to achieve that, there are some attributes that we need to exhibit, including being knowledgeable, being thinkers, being able to communicate effectively, being open-minded, reflective, all of these kind of things. In order to really do well in today's global world. I have a few tips for success. So when you are doing your homework and you don't understand something, you want to write down those questions. If it's a math question, maybe you've worked out the first two steps and then you can't remember what to do next. That's what you want to write down. So when you get to your class the next day or the next time you have it, you can ask your math teacher how to do that step. They know how to help you. Um, you can utilize websites to reinforce the skills that are being taught, such as Khan Academy, crash course videos. You may be able to find some other things on YouTube that may help you. I think the math books this year also come with some tutorial videos. You want to do your homework the same day it's assigned. I know we're on A-Day, B-Day schedules, but you're going to be assigned homework on A-Day and then the next day on B-Day as well, and you don't want that work piling up. So you want to do as much of that A-Day homework as you can on A-Day when you get home so that you don't overwhelm yourself. And the biggest thing for both students and parents is the use of that built-in calendar on Google Classroom. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's going to look a little bit different on mine than it will for a student's. But if you click the pancake over here, the pancake stack, and you go to calendar, it will show you assignments, due dates. They can see it going in for a little while. So this is a very useful tool that the kids have at their fingertips at any given time. And so I do encourage you to keep up with that. They can even manipulate by class what it is. And so this is a fantastic way for them to keep up with stuff. All right. Another big part of IB is community and service. It is mandatory. They need to do 3 separate activities that a reflection form needs to be completed for. And remember, images of the student participating in that activity have to be included with that. I will continue to email out any requests I get from schools and organizations asking for volunteers. Sometimes we get schools asking for, assistance with their fall festival. I know the library book sales coming up, and I will be meeting with one of the librarians about that next week. And so I'll be passing on those details. But you don't have to wait for me to email out those opportunities. You can plan your own activity, including volunteering at the Humane Society, packing bags for Help for Kids, maybe serving as a tutor at the Boys and Girls Club, maybe certain things that you do with your youth group, and I'll hit on that in just a second. But there's a wide variety of things that you could do that you don't have to wait on me to get you information for. Eighth grade students, in addition to completing those three activities, will complete a community and service project. I am the coordinator for that project, and we will go over that probably beginning that first week in September. And it is a very controlled setting. Um, it's going to have to do with food scarcity. So we'll deal with that when we get to it. Things that do not count as community and service. Anything where a religious message is taught. It doesn't matter what religion it is. If it is anything where preaching is going to occur, or the teaching in Sunday school, anything like that does not count. Now, I know some church services are recorded by a video operator. That could count because you're not the person operating the video is not teaching the lesson. You're providing that service for the church, but you're not actively teaching the lesson. Anything done for a family member, whether it's free or not, does not count. And babysitting, even if the babysitter is not paid, does not count. So going back to youth group, if your youth group, over Christmas participates in Santa Hatchie, or you decide as a youth group that you're going to do some type of canned food activity, participating in those activities do count. So those could count as an activity as well. Or even if you're doing it with a sports team. I know some of the sports teams here at Williams participate in community and service as well, and that would count. All right, the big thing that I want to talk about is the academic policy. And this is new for this year. And the main reason is that this is a gifted program. This is a program that is meant to be a challenge. It is a magnet program. So it is set up specifically to target hardworking students who are interested in furthering their education, more than what a traditional middle school student would get. And in eighth grade, that's going to translate to you taking 4 high school credit courses. And whatever you make in those classes will follow you to high school. And you're going to go from 7th grade to basically 9th grade for those 4 courses. And so it's important that you maintain the grade point average and do your very best in your 7th grade classes as well, because those skills are going to be used when you get to your 8th grade courses that are technically on a 9th grade level. So we are asking that students maintain at least a 70 in each of their MYP classes for the quarter. At the end of the quarter, if a student does not have a 70 in one of those classes, they're going to be given an academic warning. And this is going to be a conference between the student, parent, teachers, the coordinator, and the guidance counselor. This is not because we want to be mean, or, we want the kids to be successful. And you're going to have a very hard time doing well in 8th grade or 9th grade if you didn't set that foundation in the previous grade. And I'll give you an example. In 8th grade, they take Algebra 1, students take Algebra 1, and then they're going to go to the high school and they're going to take Algebra 2. So if they failed Algebra 1 or they did poorly in Algebra 1, they're not going to have those foundation skills to do well in Algebra 2. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. We want those kids to have that foundation. Now, I know not everyone's good at math or not everyone's good at English. That's why it's only a 70 and not trying to make everyone have an A. If you, at the end of the next marking period, which would be the next quarter, haven't achieved that 70, you're going to undergo an academic review. And the academic review committee will be the assistant principal in charge of curriculum, the MYP coordinator, and the guidance counselor. And we can recommend, if you stay in, on that academic warning plan, or we can put you on probation. Or if it's serious enough, we could advocate for the removal from the program. And again, this is not to be mean. Particularly for those 8th graders, we cannot in good conscience allow you to continuously fail quarters and carry a low average with you to high school and mess up your GPA before you even get there. And so, that being said, within these periods where a student is on an academic warning or academic probation or whatever the situation is, they will be receiving interventions. We will put things into place to help that student, um, try to do their best in that subject and get back up to that 70. We're not out to get the student, but the student is going to have to put in that effort to either maintain that 70 or recapture that 70 or higher. At the end of the year, if the student fails one or more of the IB courses for the year, they will not be allowed to continue in the program the following academic year. So if they fail a course in seventh grade, that's one of the 6 MYP courses, they cannot be in the program in eighth grade. They can reapply for ninth grade, but they cannot be in for the next year. And that is because they will not be ready in terms of skills for the work that will come next. Um, Pass all subjects, and again, this is specifically regarding MYP courses. So if you receive an F on a quarterly report card, you're going to go straight to academic probation until the next quarter. If you bring it up to passing, we'll change the status to an academic warning. If you don't improve the grade, if you remain failing after that quarter, or you are not maintaining a 70, you'll have that academic review. We just want all students to be successful and get all of the benefits of the program. And if you're not performing to your fullest ability, which looks different for everyone, but everyone should be able to make and maintain a 70 or higher, then you're not going to get those benefits. You're not going to be ready for your next classes. If you have any questions or concerns, there will be a Google form with this so that you can send those questions to me, or you can email me. I'm more than happy to talk. We just want students to do their best. And again, I will be providing very specific information to the eighth graders on that community and service project, but we won't even worry about that until September. I hope we all have a fantastic year. And if you ever need anything, just reach out to me.